Welcome to my presentation video for my first year audio-visual project. So as you can see, I've decided to create a mandala program which generates the design over and over with the user input of the R key. This is also indicated by a sound effect, and then by pressing the S key the user can save their canvas as a PNG file to their downloads folder. So just to demonstrate that now, by pressing R on my keyboard, it will refresh the mandala design and play the sound effect. And then by pressing S it will save as a PNG file to my downloads folder. So essentially this program works by drawing half of one of these petals. This is then reflected by making the Y values negative, therefore forming the complete shape. And this shape is then repeated and redrawn next to the original by rotating the canvas to then meet the full 360 degrees. So changing to the code now. This principle is then carried through each mandala layer by multiplying the petal value by a percentage causes the X and Y values to be reduced closer to 0, 0, which has been translated to the center of my canvas rather than the top left of it. So this is under the variable multiplier here, which you can see is randomly allocated and multiplied. So these variables have also been allocated to segments and layers. So layers you can see here and segments you can see here. So if the layers variable is changed, the number of levels to the mandala will correspond to this value. So this variable is then called in the for loop, which is allocated to J for shorthand and ease of typing. And then the for loop will run until it reaches this value. So if it's 12, it will run until it reaches a 12 value, and then it will stop, creating the 12 layers. If the segments value is changed, then the number of petals on one mandala layer will change corresponding to this. So this is then called at my angle variable too, as dividing the 360 degrees by the amount of segments you want in that one circle is how you calculate the value that you need to multiply the canvas rotation function. So using the preload function as well, I was able to preload a sound. I've named it whoosh MP3, which is what you heard earlier, which I then called later. And then just to show you the angle variable being called here at the rotate function, and at the final function at the bottom here, called key typed. So if the user presses the R key and it's equivalent to that absolute value, then the whoosh sound will play, a black background will be redrawn, and then everything in the draw function will be redrawn. So everything in these brackets here will be run once again. So if the S key is then pressed, the canvas save function will run, and like you saw earlier, the canvas will be saved to the downloads folder as a PNG file. And then if neither of these are pressed, it would return false, so nothing will happen, and that is it. So thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed.